to Real Talk with your host, Shep Washington. It's Real Talk. It's Real Talk. It's Real Talk.
Oh, here we go on this Monday. I think I'm going to title this Gremlin Monday because, boy, I'm telling you, everything that can go wrong is trying to go wrong, but that's all right because we shall persevere. What's good, Memphis? Chip Washington here, your humble host on this brand new edition of Real Talk Memphis, straight up 6 o'clock on WYXR 91.7 on your FM dial. Very happy to have you with us. Very happy to be in the house. We are going to endeavor to have a good show tonight if we can get all the technical gremlins to work out, but we'll let that deal with it one step at a time. How about that? So as we start, as we always do, there are many ways for you to get this broadcast, and one of those ways, of course, is on your FM dial, 91.7, the WYXR. You can also go to the WYXR website, wyxr.org, hit listen live, and you can catch us. We are also live on the TuneIn app, and we are also going to be on Facebook Live tonight. It might, okay, we are. Lola says we are. You can see us at a distance here, but we're okay. So you can catch us on Facebook Live as well. And we're going to post to YouTube a little later on this evening or tomorrow. And as we are a podcast, you can catch us wherever it is you get your podcast. So it was a beautiful weekend. It was a beautiful day today. Temperatures about 94 degrees, but we didn't have that extreme heat index that we are getting so accustomed to today, so it wasn't too bad. To understand, the next couple of days are going to bring us rain, and from what I heard, quite a bit of it, Tuesday, maybe tomorrow night into Wednesday in particular. After that rain goes away for a few days, temperatures are going to be in the upper 80s. Yes, I did say upper 80s, so we'll be in good shape on that front as well. But things are looking up as we enter into a brand new week. I hope you had a good week prior. I hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you're ready to start this week off in fine form and fashion as well. Now, I normally do birthdays this time of the show, but because I was rushing before I got here today, I did not print out I actually printed out my birthday list, but I don't have it. But if you indulge me just a second, I'll see if I can't get it up there, and we'll see if we can't acknowledge some folks today. It has been a day for me. That's all I can tell you. It's been a day. But as I said, we'll get through it and we'll make it happen. But I tell you what, instead of trying to reinvent the wheel here, I'm just going to say this: if you are celebrating a birthday today, or you celebrated one over the weekend, or you have one coming up this week, and I do know that there are a couple of birthdays this week. Rashawn Austin is celebrating a birthday in another couple of days, and Michael O'Harris is also celebrating a birthday later this week as well. So happy birthday to each and every one of you, as I'm trying to stall to find out where the birthdays are here on here. But that's okay. We will bypass that. Forgive us. Charge it to our head, not our heart. And if you are celebrating a birthday, congratulations on your current trip around the sun. We hope to be here next year to celebrate your next trip around the sun. All right, a few news and notes to talk about here. Of course, many of you are probably aware of the death of actress Anne Heche, 53 years old. Very tragic situation. Sounded like she might have been under the influence of drugs or alcohol. She crashed her car in Los Angeles, California, into a house, burst into flames. Car bursted into flames, and she did not make it. So she did a lot of good movies. Great career for her, and 53 years young is very, very young to go. But we're praying for her family, and those of you who are fans of her of her movie career out there. So you heard about the incident at Cummings K-8 school today where part of the ceiling in the library collapsed. Good news was no children were in the library, so nobody was hurt. There were 3 staff members who suffered minor injuries as a result of that. The school was dismissed early, and starting tomorrow, all students that go to Cummings will be going to LaRose Elementary School for the remainder of the week, and as long as it takes to get that situation fixed. Now, we all should breathe a sigh of relief because it could have been so much worse, but it wasn't, and all the children were fine, and everybody else is too. So now that school, by the way, Cummings is, I think I heard them say today that it was built in 1961. So it is one of the older schools, and this brings, forth, shines a light on, these schools and whether they are actually or indeed, safe for students and the faculty and staff to go to. So that's going to be a whole nother conversation that you are going to start to hear as well. Memphis police are going to get some help. They're going to get some help from the Tennessee Highway Patrol. What kind of help, you say? Well, they are going to get 20 to 30 new officers, both troopers and police officers, to patrol the interstates. Because of you fools out there that like to drive all over the place, recklessly, one lane to the other, left to right, right to left, in between, driving up on folks, they are going to hopefully solve that problem. Now, there's a couple of graduating classes for the troopers that are going to happen in the next couple of months, but there are going to be 10 officers, additional MPD officers committed to the traffic division, and there are going to be 20, count them, 20 Tennessee Highway Patrol troopers manned on the interstates. Now, will it work? We'll see. Those boys generally don't play. So, right now it's a little crazy and a little nuts out there. Help is on the way. We had another incident with a vehicle and a fire truck over the weekend. Last Wednesday, of course, a very tragic situation where a pickup truck ran a red light downtown, smashed right into one of the fire department engines, knocked it over, and unfortunately, a 32-year veteran of the department, David Pleasant, was killed in that accident. The one that happened Saturday, it was in Whitehaven, and the fire folks were backing out, getting ready to respond to a call. Motorcycle comes zooming down the street, didn't see him, hits the fire truck. The driver of the motorcycle is dead as well. So once again, we talk about it every week. Slow down. There is no, honestly, what is the rush? What is the hurry? We don't pay attention enough as it is. We're on our phones. We're doing this. We're distracted. We're doing everything else. But you know what? If we just take a beat and slow down, I think we will be a whole lot better for it. And finally, before we get into the show, I saw something today that really kind of bothered me. It was about a woman who was killed Saturday night in Raleigh. I'm sorry, excuse me. She was shot to death. Dr. Yvonne Nelson. And the reason it bothered me so much is because I knew her, and I actually had her as a guest on my radio show a couple of years ago. She was a community activist. She was the head of the Whitehaven Redevelopment Corporation for 25 years. She was a one-woman army trying to keep development from happening at what used to be Graves Elementary School, from the Elvis Presley Enterprises, and from another company that wanted to sort of disrupt the peace and quiet of that neighborhood. She was tragically shot about 11:15 on Saturday night. Apparently, the person who did it, who is still at large, it is a female, by the way. They do have a picture of her as a person of interest, so it won't be long before they catch her. Yvonne apparently owned a relatively brand new Infiniti that she had just recently purchased. And witnesses say that after the gunshots and all the commotion, they saw this person of interest driving off in what looked like a late model Infiniti. Sounds to me like it could have been a carjacking. Sounds like to everybody else it could have been a carjacking, but that has not been confirmed by Memphis police. But again, another senseless situation. We just buried someone 3 weeks ago. Dr. Easter Williams, Reverend Dr. Easter Williams, in Whitehaven, victim of a carjacking, and now we see this. And again, for family, friends, colleagues, those who worked with her, those who knew her, Dr. Yvonne Nelson, our deepest condolences and sympathies to you. And I have faith that the police department will catch the individual in question. So before we go to our lineup here, I want to give you the lineup tonight. We have a pretty good show. We had an election a couple of weeks ago, and now in another, I guess maybe 2 weeks or so, they will be sworn into office. So I guess I could dub this, meet the newly elected officials. So we have two of them that are joining us tonight. And the first one is Erika Sugarmon. She is the newly elected Shelby County Commissioner for District 6. And a little bit later on, we will speak to who will be her future colleague, one of her future colleagues, Charlie Caswell. He is the newly elected county commissioner for District 12. So we'll talk to them about, now that they have won their races, what comes next, what's on their agenda, what are they looking forward to, as time moves forward. A little bit later on, we're going to talk with Shep Wilbun. He's a very familiar face and name in Shelby County, and I think County Commissioner Van Jones may be joining us as well. But this is about the minority women business contract situation. That's always been a rather dicey thing. It went to court, and it sort of got put on the back burner. Basically, fair contracts are being issued out, and everybody should have an equal opportunity and equal shot at those. So we're going to talk to Shep and Van a little bit later about all of that. So we have a very, very good lineup for you tonight. We hope you stick with us for the entire hour because you might just learn something. In the meantime, we're going to take our first break. This is Real Talk Memphis. I am Chip. You know who you are. First break, quick break, right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
The next round of our collaboration beers with Crosstown Brewing Company is ready. Take a walk down the tart end of the street, where soul music meets a fruity and flavorful sour beer with notes of pineapple, peach, and apricot. You can find the beer at grocery stores and other local Crosstown Brewing Company retailers. A portion of the proceeds goes towards helping WYXR and supporting community radio in Memphis. Visit crosstownbeer.com for more information.
The Onstage at the Halloran Center season presents the musical history of Royal Studios, narrated by Boo Mitchell on Friday, August 26th. High Rhythm and Boo Mitchell share the stories of soul music and take you on a musically guided journey of more than 60 years with Willie Mitchell and his iconic Royal Studios. More information at orpheum-memphis.com.
This is Will Goodwin, co-founder at Crosstown Brewing Company. Just like WYXR, Crosstown Brewing supports Memphis music and our neighbors who use their talents to make it. Our beers can be found at our 3,000 square foot tap room right here at the Crosstown Concourse and at your favorite bars, restaurants, and stores throughout Tennessee, Mississippi, and eastern Arkansas. Enjoy.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. Chip Washington, your humble host, with you, and very glad to have you with us as well. And as I mentioned, going to the break, we had an election a couple of weeks ago, and there were a lot of changes indeed, and some history-making changes and the whole 9 yards. I said it last week. I'll say it again this week. The Republicans are still shell-shocked after what happened, in this election. But my first guest tonight is one of those newly elected officials, and I know she's going to do an absolutely amazing job. Welcome to the show, Erika Sugarmon. She is the newly elected county commissioner for District 6. And Erika, thanks for coming back on Real Talk.
Okay, Chip Washington, that was District 12.
Okay, you're District 12. Okay, so I got it. So I got everything twisted. Okay, so you're 12 and then Charlie. Okay, you're 12. Okay, so and I'm sorry. I said at the beginning of this show, it's just been kind of one of those Mondays, but that's okay. I had an educator, ladies and gentlemen, just correct me, but that's fine as long as we got it right. I'm in good shape. Well, Erika, thanks for coming on Real Talk. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
I don't know if you remember, you actually were on a show of mine in another edition a couple of years back. Do you remember that? Back in the
Yes, in 2018 when I was running for city council.
In 2018, that's right. So it's been that. Wow, that's a long time. But anyway, it's good to see you, and congratulations on your victory, by the way. And you are going to do quite well in District 12. But first of all, tell us, if you will, what does that area encompass as far as how many people you represent, and what areas are you representing?
Of Germantown, a little bit of Garveyville. It goes all the way to State Line Road.
Okay.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So how many people is that?
I didn't say how many people.
Okay. I was just because you actually cut out a little bit, so we didn't really catch except for the last part of what you just said. Yeah. But okay. So I guess I said all that to say it's a big area of folks that you are going to be representing, and first of all, tell me why it was that you decided to run for this particular position.
Well, as you all know, I ran for city council. Both times were at large. It was half of Memphis, and so when I lost the last time, I lost by 1% or 500 votes. And I was honored that 22,800 people voted for me. And, actually I saw it as a win because I've never thought to run for office. I've always been behind the scenes helping other candidates run.
Right.
But I kept seeing candidates win, and I was disappointed because, they have an agenda, but once they get elected, either they're inexperienced, I don't know if they don't know what they're doing, but they're inexperienced as far as policies and things of that nature, or they have their own agenda, or they drank the juice or something happened. And so I was so hopeful so many times. So I said, well, I'm going to throw my hat in again. Actually, my mom was a very huge part of me running again, because when I lost in 2019, I said, Ma, I tried, I didn't win. And my mom looked at me, she said, you're a Sugarmon. You don't give up. You have too many people who are hopeful that you're going to make a difference. So don't even, don't even think that, and so, and after I thought about it, she was right. So many people, were looking for me to make a change. And so I decided to throw my hat in again, one more time, and it was a charm.
Absolutely. And, you come from, a family of legacy. You mentioned your mother. Of course, your father was very big in the civil rights, movement in this city. And, I really like what you just said, about your mom's dream, and basically more to the point of you are who you are. We don't quit. We keep doing it until we get it. And you did do it until you were able to be elected. Now, I know you're getting indoctrinated, and I know you get sworn in on September 1st, but there's a lot to absorb in all of this. And so I just guess maybe I wondered if you've had a chance to think about it yet. Now that you are elected and you are about to take the seat, there are a lot of issues and there are a lot of concerns from our citizens out here about a lot of different things. Have you started to have a chance to figure out exactly what you want to tackle in particular, as you start to move forward?
That's a wonderful question. In fact, I actually won in May in the primary because I didn't have any competition in August. And so that allowed me to do some things. Number one, we realized, the elects realized that we had to have a majority on the commission. So we used our time, at least, helping other candidates, in particular in the commission race. The other thing that I, as well as some of the elects, worked on was reaching out to various policymakers and community influencers and discussing how can we solve some of these issues? How can we address them? What are the concerns? And so actually, we've been working all summer. And so we basically have an idea of, what's going to be first, the low-bearing fruit. And we're going to reach across the municipalities, and because there are a lot of commonalities. And one of the issues that's something we can tackle easily is broadband. That's a huge issue. And that's something we're going to tackle right on. But there's other issues that are going to take a little bit more time. And that's the housing insecurities, food insecurities, transportation insecurities, infrastructure, blight, and those kinds of things, as well as the judicial issues, juvenile court concerns, as well as adult concerns, as far as the population that's continued to be attacked, if you will, by such harsh policies that really do not help make our communities safer. And so those are things that people have been really addressing. They want safer neighborhoods. They want better services. They want cleaner county. And they want, to be able to raise their family in a community that's thriving. And so those are the huge issues that we're going to be tackling on the commission. But again, we're going to reach across the municipalities as well as the state level with our state legislators.
If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Erika Sugarmon, newly elected county commissioner for District 12. Did I get that right? Okay. Yes. All right. Now, it was very interesting in this particular election. You are one of 5 African American or Black females to be elected to the county commission. That's the most they have ever had. And also, I believe that this is the first time in a long time, if ever, that the majority of the county commission is Democratic. Did I get that correctly?
That is correct. There are 4 Republicans and 9 Democrats.
So obviously, the Democrats, have the upper hand in terms of voting power. But I like what you said. It's not so much about that. It really is about the issues, and that we're going to reach across the aisle, and we need to work together as a body to get this done. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask you what you think of the significance of the fact that we have seen more African American women on the county commission than ever before.
It's not surprising because 67% of the people that voted for me were African American women who were age 50 plus. So that's not a surprise. And a lot of it has to do with systemic racism, if you will, where a lot of our Black men cannot vote. And it's so disheartening or so sad when you reach across the aisle and ask your brothers to help and support and, and vote. And they're like, I'd love to vote for you, but I can't. So, that's something we've got to work on, is because once a person has completed their time, okay, then you're penalized because you cannot then participate in the democracy. And so we're going to have to make sure that we all can participate, not just, the Black women, but everyone. If you're marginalized, minoritized, disadvantaged, you should have a right to have a say-so in your community. And if once you've done your time, that's it. You've given your time, and now it's time for you to gain your full citizenship. of the case.
I know that there's a lot of effort, going on, for folks to be able to get those rights back. Folks, just because you've been arrested or you've been in the system doesn't mean you can't come out and be a productive member of society. So I know that's a very encouraging thing that you just said. But I always have to mention something else. And I don't know if this to be the fact or not, but your brother was also elected, and he is the new juvenile court judge. Is this the first time in your memory, or is this the first time period that a brother and a sister have been, on the ballot at the same time and both won that you know of here in Shelby County?
Oh, I don't know. I think about the Ford family.
You know what? That's that's a V8 moment right there. Like you hit yourself in the head. That's right. Yeah, there is a little family called the Fords. That's right. But
yes.
But brother and sister. Well, that's true. Yeah, Ophelia was. That's okay. Okay, so let's just take that last 60 or 70 seconds. Let's just erase that from the script of what I just said. But honestly, there has to be a great sense of pride to be able to do this because you mentioned it a little while ago. Juvenile court is a big issue. It has been a big issue for a very long time, and there are some serious issues that need to be addressed. Your brother, he got very close the last time, but he won this time. And are you confident that with all working together, that we can actually make some substantial changes as pertains to the juvenile justice system?
Yes. In fact, my brother is the first Black to hold this position.
Yes.
And so I'm so proud of him. And my studies, I'm right now a doctoral candidate, and my research is focused on juvenile justice. I'm so excited that I have opportunity to work with my brother because there are a lot of things that we can do to help disadvantaged youth who are entangled in our system. And the thing is that we need to rehabilitate those and to offer them some opportunities. And a lot of times people don't realize that a lot of juveniles who are incarcerated have other issues, but it's not just being disadvantaged. It's also there might be some besides socioeconomic, but some mental issues and things of that nature. And so those are the things that are not being addressed. And also the fact that so many of our young people who are in secure facilities, they are awaiting trial. And so, you have innocent people who may just, plead out just to get out. And the same thing is going on with the adult system. And so I've heard so many stories of people saying, well, you know what? I just pled out because I just needed to get out. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the cash to get out. I just needed to get out. And I said, but you're innocent. And he said, but Erika, think about it. Would you, would you actually plead out? And I thought about it. I may have also. So, it's so easy for us to sit on the sidelines and judge other people. But what we need to do is to be to help each other and lift each other up. And that's what's going to make a safer community.
Well, listen, I really enjoyed having you. I was excited that you were on the show. So were a lot of other people, by the way, who knew you were going to be on tonight. And before I let you go, I have to say this. You corrected me in reference to you being District 12 and Charlie Caswell being in District 6. I got that from somebody else. Joanne Lewis Massey also corrected me behind that too. So thank you, Joanne, and thank you, Erika. And by the way, speaking of your colleague, Charlie Caswell, he left me a note here on Facebook Live saying, Commissioner-elect Erika Sugarmon is fired up and ready to roll. And he said, I am honored to serve by her side. So
ditto, because he's an amazing person as well.
He really is. And he'll be joining us a little bit later on in the broadcast. But for now, thank you so much for taking time out. I wish you nothing but the best of luck as you take your seat on the county commission. And, I'm going to invite you back as time moves along. So I hope you'll be able to join us again here on Real Talk Memphis.
I will. Thank you so much. It has been an honor. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Erika Sugarmon. She is the county commissioner-elect for the 12th the 12th district. And she joined us, and she had some very, very positive things to say. I think, with this new blood that we're about to see on the county commission, there's going to be a lot of things getting done in reference to that. And before I go to commercial break, I just need to mention all these folks that have tuned in tonight. Joanne Lewis Massey, thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that. She is a proud resident of District 12, by the way. Shalisa Cox is in the house tonight, District 12 as well. My son David is watching. Valerie White is checking us out tonight. Charlie Caswell, who will actually be a guest on the show here in just a few minutes. Jacqueline McDonald, hello to you. Sarah Gum checking us out. Antonio Cole, Joe Birch Jr., and two other folks are checking us out tonight. So we really appreciate it. Hey, Trina Jones, how are you? Michael Harris is also checking us out this evening. If you're wondering what this is all about, this is Real Talk Memphis. I am your host, Chip Washington. We're going to take our next break, and we will be right back. Who's up? Hey, Shep. I got him. Yeah, I can hear you good. Shep, you can hear me okay? Well, listen, man, we are in a commercial break.
If you like real talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion?
I see him. He's down there too. Hey, man, can you hear me?
Or have a guest idea? Then send
okay, I got you both.
Okay,
we're in commercial break, so we'll be with you guys in just a minute. Okay, so just stand by.
So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Wow. Okay, that's good.
Clarion Security is proud to sponsor WYXR, and they are hiring at the Crosstown Concourse. Help protect the place that creates moments of discovery for us all. More information at 901-571-2065.
Yeah, if she was, I did.
The Brooks is open in Overton Park, home to Memphis art collection since 1916. The Memphis Brooks Museum of Art holds the largest collection of world art in the region, with more than 10,000 works spanning 5,000 years of art and cultures. Remember, every Wednesday is free and open until 8 p.m. They are a proud sponsor of WYXR. For more information about the museum and their exhibitions, visit brooksmuseum.org. You belong at the Brooks. The Onstage at the Halloran Center season presents the musical history of Royal Studios, narrated by Boo Mitchell on Friday, August 26th. High Rhythm and Boo Mitchell share the stories of soul music and take you on a musically guided journey of more than 60 years with Billy Mitchell and his iconic Royal Studios. More information at orpheum-memphis.com.
We'll figure it out. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm all. I mean, I'll be hitting Chevy up.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. And, excuse me, very happy to have you with us. And I'm also very happy to have the next two folks with me this evening. You know, minority contracts for women in particular and others has been an issue for a while here, you know, the equity, so to speak. So I wanted to have, and in the last county commission meeting, it was addressed, and actually it's starting to, you know, it's going to resurface and it's going to move forward. I have a couple of gentlemen here who are going to explain that process. Shep Wilbun is joining us this evening, and he's the compliance officer for the Shelby County government, and also County Commissioner Van Turner is joining me as well. So, gentlemen, thank you for joining me here, and thank you for coming on Real Talk. I really appreciate it.
Glad to be on with you, Chip.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about this. You know, Van, I heard you last week in particular talking a lot about this issue, but sort of set the table for us, you know, as to what we're trying to do here and how this looks moving forward, if you don't mind.
I appreciate it, and thanks again for being here. So, according to a Supreme Court case, we can have what we call programs to incentivize doing business with Black-owned and women-owned companies here in the county and through the nation. But what you have to do first is perform what they call a disparity study, and you have to show the need for such programs. You just can't come up with what they call a quota out the blue without any background.
Mm-hmm.
So this case is called City of Richmond versus Croson. And that's been the, if you will, MWBE Bible for at least the last 30 years. Interesting point, and we'll cover this. It may be in danger with this new Supreme Court case, with this new Supreme Court makeup, but we'll address that later. So anyhow, what happens is in Atlanta, Georgia sort of set the model under Maynard Jackson. What happens is a company comes in, and in this instance, it was Griffin and Strong. Rodney Strong is a lawyer in Atlanta, but he's from Memphis. And they conduct an analysis of who all are receiving the contracts from the entity, which is contemplating a program. So here, Rodney Strong met with all the businesses, the locally owned businesses, the minority owned businesses, the women owned businesses, and he has to quantify a need and show that we need a MWBE program to address historic discrimination and historic underuse of these companies.
Mm-hmm.
So Rodney Strong was able to do it, and he showed that there was a disparity, and hence we can have a program. The county has been sued several times by companies who are not owned by women or African Americans, or if they are owned by women, they're sometimes a cover for the man that owns the company in reality. We can discuss that later.
Mm-hmm.
And so this instance, we were sued again. I think we've been sued twice. And basically we ended the program and we started anew. This time I feel that we have a more solid program. We're using a more robust and conservative analysis, which should hopefully allow us to avoid further litigation. We're basing this program on what the city has, City of Memphis, MLG&W, and other local groups. So in essence, if you sue us again, you gotta sue everybody, is what we want this to be. We're all united, and we all are trying to give some equity in the area which needs it.
Absolutely.
And so I'm happy that Shep Wilbun is on board as the head of that office. He's gonna oversee the program. And I think we can have a better person other than former county commissioner and city councilman Shep Wilbun leading up this effort on behalf of the county.
So Shep, based on what Van just very eloquently laid out to us, this is really all about parity, isn't it?
It is. It's about not just parity, however, it's about fairness in the sense that county contracts involve utilization of all the citizens of Shelby County's tax dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And up until the point that our previous program was sued, African-American businesses were receiving 14% of county taxpayer dollars. That's the highest it's ever been. They should have been receiving in the vicinity of somewhere around 28% in construction, and that was not happening. And so as you can see, even though we did not get anywhere close to what we should have been getting, we were still sued nonetheless. And those who benefited from these contracts did not and have not been wanting to see the county include African Americans and women's in a fair share and in a way that would be reflective of their availability to do work for the county, which is what the disparity study highlighted. Let me quickly say one thing,
sure.
and I appreciate Commissioner Turner's sort of boost of me in this position. But one of the things I do want to say is when I was nominated and confirmed for this position, I happen to have had an extensive history with this in both Memphis and Shelby County.
Right.
I was on the city council when the city council basically did their first disparity study. I came over to the county right after the county had been sued the first time. And I ended up trying to put something together knowing that we couldn't have a quota and we didn't have a disparity study. So we came up with the county's first LOSB program, which is our first locally owned small business program. And that program has been modified a few times, but it's still in place now with the hope that small county business, even irrespective of whether they're minority or not, would be able to get a portion of county contracts because the folk who own those businesses are paying taxes here in Shelby County. But we had to wait an awful long time to get a county commission that was very, very supportive of this effort before we were able to move forward with the new disparity study and ultimately with a new program that was passed by Commissioner Turner and his colleagues on this past Monday, not today, but last Monday, unanimously, 13-0. And thanks to Commissioner Turner for his efforts, because it was his committee. He chairs the EOC committee, and I'm the administrator of the county's Equal Opportunity Commission that basically was able to get that done. So here we go again. We're going to try it one more time. We think we got, as Commissioner Turner says, a much better program. One of the reasons we were sued the last time is we had a hard, fast goal of 28% African American. Of course, you know, that didn't make the other folk happy. It wasn't any women involved. It wasn't any other minorities involved.
Sure.
It was a straight 28% African American goal for construction. And that's what the previous consultants program and findings had been. And of course, we couldn't sustain that. So this time we're going back with a goal that is reflective of the availability on each particular contract. That is to say that it will be a project by project goal. And as Commissioner Turner said, that's what the city does. That's what the school board does. That's sort of the model that has been used. So on some projects, we won't have the aspirational goal of 25% a year, which is what we're trying to do. On some projects, we'll have maybe 35 or 40%. And then there'll be some projects that we won't have maybe but 10 or 15%. There may be some that we don't have any availability of black firms or women firms to do them. But this is much better.
Project
we think
by
it allows
project,
us to better use our folk, and that's what we're going to try to do.
Well, listen, I'm running here, but man, I know you've been working really hard on this, and I know that for a fact, and you two make a pretty dynamic team. Do you feel that this approach that has been laid out will lead to a more successful opportunity?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the new commission coming in, my successor, Erika Sugarmon, and the other commissioners are really going to push this program forward. And I think that this will be successful. This program will make a difference. And we got to get the word out. We got to get everyone certified. We got to get everyone in a position to avail themselves of this opportunity. And I think 5-6 years from now, you're going to see a difference in how the county contracts with a diverse group of businesses. And I think that everyone will be proud of what we've done here recently in standing back up this program.
Well, listen, I thank you both for coming on and explaining this to where folks really can understand exactly what the goal is behind this. And before I let you go, Mr. County Commissioner, outgoing County Commissioner, you made some news a couple of days ago in reference to a particular election in 2023. I'm to understand you've thrown your hat in the ring.
Yes, sir. It will be official on September 1. I will invite you out and others for a special announcement. But I've been exploring this opportunity for the last couple of years. I'm confirming a run, and I'm declaring a run on 9/01 day, September 1, 2022. So hopefully you can join me. And man, I'm excited. I am a native son.
Yes, you are.
Born and raised in the Whitehaven community. And I'm just going to offer myself as a candidate to hopefully give back to this community as I've been doing the past decade in various roles that I've played in government and out of government and other nonprofits such as the NAACP.
Well, listen, we'll be listening for that announcement, and we'll be following things because time moves real fast around here, and it'll be 2023 before we all know it. But Shep, Wilbun, Van Turner, thank you both for coming on Real Talk tonight and really laying out a program that I think is going to be very, very beneficial to a whole lot of folks. I really appreciate you coming on, and you're welcome back anytime. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Shep.
Thank you all.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, guys. Great conversation there, and there's a lot to look forward to, I think, as time moves along. We're going to take our final break, quick one. When we come back, we are going to talk to another newly elected individual for the County Commission. His name is Charlie Caswell. This is Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Shep a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR comes from Focal Point. Located in Crosstown Concourse, Focal Point is a Southern College of Optometry clinical facility that offers fittings with designer eyewear and eco-friendly frames. Learn more at focalpointcrosstown.com.
The next round of our collaboration bids with Crosstown Brewing Company is ready. Take a walk down the tart end of the street, where soul music meets a fruity and flavorful sour beer with notes of pineapple, peach, and apricot. You can find the beer at grocery stores and other local Crosstown Brewing Company retailers. A portion of the proceeds goes towards helping WYXR and supporting community radio in Memphis. Visit crosstownbeer.com for more information.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday. Very rarely do I say things like, this man needs no introduction, but he really doesn't need much of an introduction. Charlie Caswell is a minister. He is a community activist. He is a man of the people and a man of the streets. And he decided to insert himself into the world of politics, and he is the newly elected District 6 County Commissioner. Charlie joins us on the show tonight. And Charlie, thank you for coming back on Real Talk. It's good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, good to see you, sir. I pray all is well with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And you know what? He's so respectful. He always calls me sir. I tell everybody, just call me Chip. But Charlie's like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. but
well, I'd say just Chip. I got plenty of whoopings for not saying yes, sir, and no, ma'am. So I'm traumatized.
I completely understand that, man, and I really appreciate it. Well, listen, first of all, congratulations to you, on winning this seat. And, to me, it was really, it really wasn't much of a decision in terms of that. You did have competition, didn't you? In the first,
in the primary, yes, sir. Okay. I had a young man ran against me in that race, yes, sir.
Well, you mentioned, on the chat here that your soon-to-be colleague Erika is fired up and ready to go. I think you're pretty fired up and ready to go as well. So, you're looking forward to getting in the seat. Things kick off on September 1st, and tell me, what are some of your priorities as you are about to become a newly minted county commissioner?
Well, Chip, I've been on your show many times, and we talk about the public safety and the violence that we see in our community, and the work that I've been doing for many years around and mitigating the adverse childhood experience and that deep-rooted trauma that most of us who have been through it, and now we're seeing the ripple effect of it in our adulthood. So really addressing mental health at a high rate in our schools, in our community, that's a big piece of the focus for me.
Talk about the juvenile aspect of things, in particular juvenile court. When you have the new juvenile court judge, Sugarmon, and we have seen quite a few problems. The federal government has had to step in. There's a lot of issues that need to be, dealt with in terms of this. How focused are you on that, in particular, the relationship with juvenile court?
Oh, that's been a heart of the work, as a young 15-year-old male who was locked up and facing some time for aggravated assault, locked up for 3 days, and then come to find out that I had nothing to do with the situation. The charges was dropped. That left an impact on me when it comes to trauma. My colleague Sugarmon spoke of that, being in that system and not being faced with whether you're going to plead guilty just to get out of there, So I know that many of our young people, I understand that it's not what's wrong with them. It is what happened to them. And so if we don't address what's been normalized in the violence in their community and their homes, then guess what? They're only doing what they've been trained to do. And so in hopes of working with Judge Sugarmon and our newly elected district attorney, Steve Monroe, that we can really address these issues early, that they don't end up in a big jail later because nobody never dealt with it.
Speaking of that, and a lot of folks are going to be paying a lot of attention to what you just said. I believe that the newly elected district attorney, Steve Monroe, is going to be my guest next week on this show, and we'll ask about truth in sentencing and a lot of other things. But let's back up a minute. We all, I think, the entire city felt the death of Reverend Dr. Easter Williams, at the hands of 15-year-old carjackers. And you always talk about, the youth and some of the things that they have had to deal with. But let me ask you this. What is your stance on should a juvenile who commits a major crime go straight to adult court, adult prison? I mean, what's your take on that?
I don't think they should go straight. I think it's case by case. Now, if they got repeat where you tried to get some intervention and you tried to put some things in place for them, but yet they continue to go down that road, then I think they leave us no choice. But I think it need to be a tier or capacity of the first tier when we see that they were stealing out the store, or we see that they got in trouble, that we put something in place, provided those natural community supports around them. Because, Shep, I had to get to a point in this work, I've been doing it a long time, that I had to stop saying, where are the parents? I know the parents need to be there, but guess what? At this point, the parents didn't even have parents. So these individuals, we keep saying, kicking the can down the road, talking about the parents need to be involved. No, the village got to get involved because many of these homes we know have been without parenting for far too long. And so, my stance is, yes, I think that a person should be held accountable, no doubt, for what they do. But we should be held accountable as people in our community in the village that know the village is hurting and failing, and we have yet to address the issues in our village.
When you say that, back in the day, and I'm sure that maybe for you and a lot of other folks listening, growing up, it wasn't just the parents. It was an entire neighborhood. It was the next door neighbor. It was the neighbor across the street. It was folks up and down the block. It was aunts. It was uncles. Everybody took a vested interest in how we were raised back in those days. And if I'm hearing you clearly, we need to get back to that, and we need to stop making excuses for this or that and really jump in with both feet and embrace these young people. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to this, that many of these young people need a hug, some love, and somebody just to support them. And again, we got to understand that many come from home that never had that given to them. So especially in the church community, I just got back yesterday from Fort Lauderdale, training churches as I've been traveling around the country and doing this, making our churches trauma informed and trauma responsive, because we many times are the ones that they come to first when they need something to eat, when they need their light bill. And so if we can, again, identify with them and empathize with them, and I believe that's the first line that some of the first responders that can be there that may prevent that person from going out and robbing somebody and stealing because they just didn't have a support system for them.
For people who do commit these major crimes at such a very young age, which is extremely troubling, what, if anything, is the detriment? Is there a detriment? Is there something that can make these kids at least stop, pause, and think before they commit such heinous acts, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think that it comes to you. It's the me's and the you's of the word. I grew up in Dixon Home Project. I witnessed 2 murders at 14 years old, and the next one at 15 years old, had a gun put to my head. The guy pulled the trigger, and thank God it didn't go off. But when he ran from my brother and them, he turned around and shot. The gun went off. And so I know I should have been dead. And the anger I grew up with, I could have been one of these shooters that's out there right now. Mm-hmm. But I had people like former police director Armstrong, who was a rookie cop, who mentored me, Burnell Smith Sr., who was my director at the Boys Club. It was those individuals that wrapped their arms around me and told me, Chuck, you're going to be somebody. You're going to make it out of this. And today, even though I dropped out of high school, went back and got my GED, I sit here as a commissioner and the capacity to be able to be that person for somebody in our community.
Well, you know what? You have always been a stalwart when it comes to our community, and you're not afraid to tell the truth and make a difference. And I think that your voice will make a difference on the county commission, as time moves forward. And so congratulations again on your victory. And we'll be pulling for you. We'll be rooting for you, all of you, because we need to do something to turn things around in our city and county because we're losing an entire generation. But Charlie, thanks again for coming on the show. I know you this is a busy time for you right now, but all the best of luck to you and all of your colleagues on the county commission. And I'm gonna call you back down the road again once you get your feet settled into your position. And so thanks for coming on the show tonight. I appreciate it.
Pray for me, Chip, with all them women on that commission. But I thank God for those women. I believe they're gonna have the nurturing spirit to help us push this baby out and do something great for this county.
You hear how Charlie cleaned that up? That was nice. I like the way you pulled that out. That was good. Take care of yourself, Charlie. We'll talk to you soon, man. Okay, man. Take care. All right. That was a great way to end the show. And this has been an amazing show tonight. I have really enjoyed talking to some of our newly elected officials. And thank you all for checking out this show. I don't know that we've had this many people in quite some time watching. I can't even. Denise Norman is on here. Rachel Johnson. As Lola plays us out. My sister Cheryl Lewis is watching the show. Newly elected once again Judge Betty Moore is checking us out tonight. Appreciate you. Brett Thompson is also watching. Yes, it's been a really good show tonight. I hope you all got something out of it, some good information, and I really, as always, appreciate you for checking out this show. Now listen, to some of you out there who have never watched us or checked this show out, you need to do better. You need to tell somebody about Real Talk Memphis if we're doing a good job. And you need to come on back yourself, and because we're going to have some good guests coming down the road here. As I alluded to earlier, we are supposed to have District Attorney Steve Mulroy on the show next week, and we have a lot of questions for him as well. But in the meantime, in between time, thank you for supporting Real Talk Memphis. We need shows like this, and we need you out there to make this show a success. So for Lola and for Nicole, all of us here at Real Talk Memphis, I'm Chip. And I'm out. Listen, have a great week. Have a safe week. And take care of yourself.